Go ahead. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. No, it goes like this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday. He wants to do the other stuff first. I think he wants to do the other stuff first. We'll let him be a president. What the heck?
Okay, let's get this meeting going. Invocation by Jim Stonier.
Lord, thank you today, heavy hearts for people in the country who are struggling and living and dying. We always pray for peace in the world. We always pray that in Ukraine and other countries that we can find a way to help. We pray that you will bless our activities in this community as we help those who are in need. And we thank you for the opportunities you provide and for the blessing of this food. Amen.
Amen.
Flag salute, Steve Patterson.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Song, Maryland.
Country is of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of thy pilgrims pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring.
All right, good job. Hey, way in the back. Nobody's back there. Is there any guests back there?
President, Tom, fellow Lions, and guests. We have three. We have Ken Steely, Barbara Steely, and Stacie Ramirez. And they are our guests today.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to turn this over to the Twisters.
No! Don't do it! It's a mistake! It's a coup! Don't worry about it. Let's get Dwayne. Look at Dwayne's getting his steps in for the day, getting back and forth between the side here.
President Tom, fellow Lions and guests, here's a happy $2 bill because we're getting a new chuck wagon. And here's something else to go along with it, $2,000 for me, the club. So you can buy an extra big grill for the chuck wagon or make a payment, whatever you want to do.
Wow.
Right on! I make a motion, we give that man a free hamburger. Just one, that's all, just one. And a red rope. Out of red rope too, you think? All in favor say aye. Out of red ropes. Okay, good. Let's put that down in the notes there. Secretary Cindy, Dwayne gets free hamburger. Yeah. Uh-oh, what do we got here? I'm taking it.
All right, so President Tom, fellow Lions and guests, I threw in $5, happy dollars. Today is my 53rd wedding anniversary.
Ellen, she'll come to her senses soon, right, Steve? Is that the same one? Light Eric.
Doing good.
President, Tom, fellow Lions and guests, just here for my perfect attendance.
There you go.
He had to be cautioned not to sign in as a guest.
Well, I guess we'll continue on our wanderings this way. Hey, everybody say hi to Skip. Oh, hi, Skip.
Yeah.
Hi, Skip. Okay, bye, Skip. How about Lion Jim Ray?
Did you bring money, Skip?
How about him?
King Lion Tom, fellow lions and guests, I have a sad dollar because of what's going on in the world, and it's pretty terrifying, I'll tell you. You don't know what's going to happen next, but we'll hope everything comes out all right. And the happy dollar is the fact that if you were here 2 or 3 weeks ago, you missed this. My face was so ugly, you wouldn't believe it. Now it's all changed.
Is that true, Eileen? He gets ugly when he gets stressed out? Been stressed out for what, 65 years now? That's weird. Hey, Grizzly, how's it going, buddy?
President Tom, District Governor Maryland, fellow Lions and guests. The first dollar is, I was gone last week. We had to reschedule our week at the beach. It was very wet. Wind and rain were sideways for the first 3 days of the trip. It was kind of ugly down there. Ironically enough, on Wednesday morning, about 9 o'clock, we got a knock on the door of the condo we were renting, and they had to shut off the water. We had no water for 5 hours. Interesting trip to the beach. Second dollar, and I think this is safe since I already heard singing of happy birthday. Happy birthday to Gail, which happened to be the same day as mine yesterday. So that was nice. Happy birthday to you. And finally, I am very grateful to see the response of Lions Clubs International Foundation in Ukraine, and then for refugees in Poland and Moldova.
Very nice. Hey, Mark, do you remember the days when we used to worry about that rain coming sideways and we were actually just laid over, kind of hung over on the beach? It felt like it was going sideways. Hi, Lion Gail.
Hello, President Tom, fellow Lions and guests. I just have 2 birthday dollars.
For both of your birthdays. Wait a minute. Okay. Let's see, looks like we got a couple dollars up over there. Let's see, let's get my happy $5 going in there, please. So I haven't been here, President Tom, Lions and guests, for a couple of weeks. Last Tuesday I started, was the day that I kind of eclipsed starting feeling better. And after the procedure. I will sell pictures of the bruises if anybody really wants them. I'll donate them to the Lions. Yes, pay $5 not to see it. Yeah.
Is this a brain print?
Yeah, as a matter of fact. Actually, I got a new ass. I adopted Greg as my brother. Yeah. So actually everything went really super well under in the operating room for about 3.5 hours, just under. And the old joke that I always love is, as I was coming to, the doc says, well, how do you think you feel? And I said, well, I actually can't feel the darn thing, but while you were in there, did you find my keys? He didn't understand the joke. He was from another country. Had a great
South Kelso.
Yeah, he was South Kelso. I had a really good time. We went out to the beach. We've been to a couple of different places, and I'm finally back at it. The best thing that I can tell you is that my son shook my hand, and he was like, "Oh my God, Dad, your hands are warm again for the first time in a year." So that was pretty cool. Thank you for all your thoughts and prayers and the love you sent to me. I do appreciate it. You can't even imagine. And now for my newly adopted brother.
President Tom, fellow Lions and guests, I too have an anniversary dollar. Mine is Thursday. 43 years to my current wife.
The first wife gets twice that, by the way. Just hey, how about Lime Wall?
Wife's only 19.
President Tom, fellow Lions and guests, here's a happy 5. I'm really happy to see that you're back. You should have spent a couple more days. They could have done something with your face.
How are you going to improve on this? We'll come back and see you in a minute, Skip. Okay, 'cause these guys up here, they're just so excited, we decided to come visit, that's all. How about Lions Steve?
President Tom, fellow Lions and guests. Wife and I went to the theater on Saturday night to see The Hypnotist and the Colin, anyway, from Whose Line Is It Anyway? And it was a great show, funnier than heck.
Are you still under hypnotism?
Yeah, yeah.
That's why he's able to stand up this time.
But he's afraid to cross the road, that's one thing. I'm glad, John.
President Tom, fellow Lions and guests, this is a happy dollar that I didn't sign in last week.
That's right, he owed that.
Ooh. Sounds like there's stories behind some of this. How about Lion Ron Stopler?
President Tom, fellow Lions guys, happy $5 to St. Patrick and a $1,000 pledge to the new wagon.
All right.
Mr. Stonehair, sir.
Hey, Tom, fellow Lions and guests, I was just going to give $5 for people in Ukraine and what the Lions are doing, but when I heard Mark say, I went to the coast and I couldn't find the water, I thought that was remarkable. That's a lot of
I'm telling you. There's something to be said for the 60s. I meant in 1960s, yeah. How about my wonderful brother Hal?
Hey, thank you, Tail Twister, President Tom, fellow Lions and guests. Well, the first happy dollar is for crying out loud. I don't have to answer any more questions about how my brother is doing. And I'm so happy he is doing so better. A second happy dollar for all the deliveries that I got to make because of that. And my third happy dollar is I guess for Mark. I take it the fog was really thick at the coast. Is that what it was?
Watch it go by in the sheets.
Yeah, that's right. Because as a fellow child in the 60s, I saw water last time I was there.
Yeah. Well, you know, maybe he was, maybe Mark was close to the vape shop, if you know what I'm picking up there. I don't know. Who knows what could have been happening. How about Lions Skip? Whenever you're ready.
Sorry, we'll wrap our meeting up here in just a minute. President Tom, fellow Lions guests, I have a happy dollar first. Happy to see Lion absenteeism Rick Johnson here, and his son Eric Tornson. He's trying to catch up to all of that. And let's see, who else is not here that is, well, Lion Walt, of course. Lion Tom, I know I'm wrapping it up. I have a religious dollar. As all of you know, in my life, God has a sense of humor. And I've learned that all you can do is look up at her and say, thanks. So about a month ago, we found out we were getting the largest tax return that we've ever gotten. And we were like, God, we can go here or we can go there and la 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 la. The reason I'm late, I just got done getting the estimate for the repair on my roof at $4,800, and I'm like, oh God.
And now you're going to West Longview, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah, that's the fun part of this whole thing, isn't it? Lion Dave, what's going on?
I'm gonna sit down.
Certainly.
I'll make this short.
More change.
A little, yeah, we're going at $20 happy dollar bucks.
You want to put 20 in?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dave.
Well, I understand that. I didn't understand exactly what that was for, but Wayne explained it to me one time, and I know anything that goes on with the club is a good one. And anyway, what I will say is, if you have faith and belief that God will deliver you through anything, He'll deliver you through it. God and Jesus. I'll tell anybody that because it's true. I has seen me through many, many things. And I'm going to go ahead and sing. Glenn likes it when everybody else here likes the song, and so we'll go with it. God bless America. You can sing along with me too. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night, from the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Nice close, David, nice close, my friend. I think, Lion Tom, we have extracted the amount of dollars we can out of this group. I will remind you that next week I'll be older and wiser, so...
Excuse me.
What?
I'm sorry.
So bring more money. President Tom.
You say Budweiser?
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to Cheryl, who's going to introduce our guests.
Swivels. Okay. Our guests today that have already been nicely introduced. I think Barb is not a stranger to us. I think you've been and visited us before, but for those Barb and Ken and their daughter Stacie being Oh, I'm sorry, who what? She could be my granddaughter. Who do we have here? Stacie. Okay. Oh, okay.
I always thought you were their daughter.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what my notes said. So.
Everybody does.
Anyway, these fine folks are from a small town in Pacific County, about 20 minutes from the ocean, but their family moved to Longview in 2003. Barb is the director, Ken is a board member and teacher, and Stacie is the administrator of Art for All Nations. In 2011, Stacie learned about an art school in Clackamas, Oregon. She enrolled her two sons and ended up being a student there herself. She was inspired with a book by artist and author Evan Fiskin titled, "I'm Not Stupid, I'm Right-Brained." It was extremely helpful to her to understand the right side of the brain. Stacie never believed she could or would draw or paint, but soon discovered she was quite passionate about art. The school loves to help and encourage others to express these artistic talents. Art for All Nations is a non-profit or non-denominational Christian art school adhering to conservative values. The school...
And we're out of green beans.
I'm sorry to hear that. The school aims to be above reproach in both their curriculum and their theory. Their studies strongly support the classical arts, and their goals are to teach the secrets of the old masters and bring back the crafts of the Renaissance. Their teachers and staff are committed to excellence in teaching and in developing a positive class atmosphere. They have small classes and individual attention to help each student reach his or her maximum potential. They aspire to create a school where different disciplines of the arts thrive, such as drawing, painting, graphics, multimedia, music, dance, drama, film, etc. They work hard and they work hand in hand, supporting and strengthening one another, and their goal is to use the arts to minister to churches, the community, and the world. So welcome in wonderful, warm Lions fashion, Barb Steely, Ken Steely, and Stacie Ramirez.
That's awesome. Let me tell you.
Great, boy, yeah. You guys have heard me before, so I'm going to just do a quick intro, and I'm going to let Ken and Stacie do some fun stuff today. It's good to be back, and we're actually in the middle of this. I think Ken and I were talking. We're going to ask you for some advice because we've kind of reached a crossroads, and I believe that you guys have some wisdom and information that can help us in our next phase. He's choking down there, but get him some green beans. Just a quick update. I think that was Stacie's bio, so you got to know her a little bit. Ken's actually lived here most of his life. All the 60s were brought up quite frequently here, so his dad came up in the 60s as a warehouse or research scientist and moved the family up from California. So he was just, he couldn't believe the rain. His mother finally locked the door and made them stay outside. Locked them out of the house until they learned to enjoy the rain. And so now he's a Northwest boy. We married, we have our 40th this coming December, and so that's how I got to come to Longview. I came in the early 80s, met him, we married. And I wanted to say a little bit about the school in that this is our 7th year. And so I went, actually there was a family here that went even before my family, and then Stacie's family. It was the Masters. And they had done a summer camp and showed us the artwork, and my children were artists, and I thought, I couldn't afford the school, so I offered my services as a drama teacher. I can only draw stick people, but I am a drama queen. So they let me come and teach in Portland, and my youngest daughter, and eventually a lot of my children took their training. Over here on the table, I wanted to point out, last time I didn't bring any student work, but I want to tell you that we have an intern program, and we raise up young people in the sense of the classical education. And Stacie's going to be able to show you that in a little bit later. We like to teach like the Masters did. Rembrandt, you know, Da Vinci. They all had disciplines of art that's kind of been lost in the system. So when we went down to the art school in Portland, we were reacquainted with that. It became passionate for some of these kids who needed to have a place to express themselves. And this is student artwork here, and we have a few teachers. But for example, when I was working as a drama coach, it was for my 15-year-old daughter, who eventually became an intern, a teacher, and is now directing our new school in Milwaukee, Oregon. But that was her picture, colored pencil, in the wood frame when she was 16 years old. So she went to this school and they gave her the tools. She was a good artist, but she became a great one. And it takes diligence and work, and some of the pictures over there are still our students. Others are interns and others are teachers. So take a look when you get a minute. And Ken is going to come. Our philosophy was to give kids a place where they could be happy and do art. Now, I was traumatized a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you remember this story, but when I started going to that art school, it was like Disneyland. I mean, she would get up with her ukulele on the drawing table and start singing songs while everybody's drawing pictures. Not my idea of a classroom. I was like, wait a minute. And instead of being happy, I found myself crying every day. Every week I'd come home and I'd think, am I going insane? What is the matter with me? And I didn't learn for a while, Stacie's going to touch on this, that when you do art, often you access the emotional side of your brain. It's you can do right brain exercises. And sometimes, if you're not used to living in an emotional realm, this can be very trying. So we have children who come into the art school who will actually, in the first few weeks, develop headaches because of the right brain exercises. And so we warn them ahead of time. Don't get upset, you know, it's going to take a while, just like a kid who's dyslexic will have trouble going to the left side to learn to read. Many dyslexic children are very artistic because they don't have any problem going to the right. Because dyslexia isn't actually backwards. They've actually proven now that it's like almost a hologram. You see things in a full circle. That's why some of the great artists like Da Vinci would have been called dyslexic today. And so learning to access that in a child's mind, give them the opportunity to actually put on paper what they see. Because children see when they're young, but sometimes we train them out of it with triangles and circles and boxes. Because they naturally see. So we're trying to access and bring them back to seeing the whole picture. And that's why you come up with some of this. And I eventually began to laugh and sing along and dance in the hallways with these kids. And now I've had the blessing to be a director for 7 years. And we have 2 campuses now. And I'm going to introduce my husband. And he's also on the international board, and he's going to tell you a little bit about where we're going next. Ken?
Hello, thank you. I just got to know one thing. The gentleman who was so kindly bringing the bucket around the money, you left me a cliffhanger. Did you find your keys? You didn't answer the question, so I had to find out. I didn't know. Okay, I was a restoration contractor. That's what I did for a living, and it's something I enjoy. When we were 2 years ago, we were in our 5th year at the school. We took a team of interns and teachers to Dublin, community just north of it, and ran an art camp there. We did it again last year, and while we were there, I started noticing one of the things Ireland is rich in is derelict old historic structures. In the mid-1800s, when they went through the potato famine, it took out 30% of their population. 1 million of them died, and many more, a couple of 3 million, emigrated elsewhere to find a living. And so as a result, there were all these homes and churches and schools that were all over the country left vacant. And they are now falling down. And people in Ireland are watching their heritage basically crumble. And so they're offering pretty good incentives and support to people who want to come and restore those structures. And it occurred to me that we could get an old school, 300-year-old school, they offer them for a very reasonable amount, restore it, and in the process of restoration, because these have to be restored to original condition, learn a whole new craft, whole new series of crafts. They don't build over there the way they do here. And there is architecture involved, and there is artistry with stonework. They have stonemasons there that know things I didn't know you needed to know. It's a fascinating trade. And so we began to talk. My wife and I went over and this last fall, and we started the process of trying to pick up one of these things. It's called the Tully National School. There will be pictures later. I'll put up a little slideshow. It's sitting out in the Connemara region of West Ireland. Beautiful place. And the idea is to make a training base out of it. We have now 2 years, we have trained a number of kids there who reside there. But more importantly, we've taken kids here that have started as students, like Barbara was saying, come up, become interns, gone over there, taught, and one of the key parts to me is I personally think a graduation requirement from high school should include 2 weeks out of country, because boy, does anything give you a new perspective on what you got back home. It puts the complaints in perspective, even on the simple, silly little things. You go over there and pay $11.5 a gallon for gas. You come over here and ask people what they're crying about. That we've been in a couple of places where I suddenly understood why some people talked about kissing the ground when they come back. We were in Romania in 1990, just before the Soviet Union collapsed. And it was hard to get in. And when we got in, I kind of heard this big gate climb shut behind me, and I went, oh no, I hadn't thought about getting back out. And what we have here is worth treasuring, and it's worth teaching. And so there's an opportunity to bring back these kids who are coming out, these young people, teaching over there, picking up new skills, new experience. They come back, they're enlarged people. They have had a huge experience, and it has changed the way they look at things from now on. And they teach better here. We took that first group of interns at 5 years, and I'm guessing that that's about a class length. In another 5 years, we'll have a new batch of young people coming up, becoming teachers. And we're bringing them back into this neighborhood, this community. I think it's awesome. And if we set up that place out there, we have not purchased the Tully School. We're in the process of trying to right now. If we don't, there are other options. That particular one appeals to me personally, but it would be a really cool thing. But whatever it is, we will have something there. One thing, Ireland is a hop, skip, and a spit from everywhere else in Europe. It always surprises me how easily people talk there about going to Greece for a long weekend. Over here, that's more than a long weekend most of the time. But to them, it's not. Southern California is farther away from us here than that is there. So we have been invited to Hungary to start a school there to do these camps. There are other possibilities. There are possibilities in France, and who knows where it'll all go. But the idea is to get a base there so we can have teams of teachers rotating through there from here, teaching the next generation of kids and young people who will go out and do more. The value educationally and life experience-wise is hard to overestimate. And so there are 7 main disciplines in the arts. The only one we don't actually touch on is sculpture, because there's something in the concept of giving powerful cutting tools to enthusiastic 9-year-olds that just kind of says, let's put that off. So we have not done that yet. You should see what they can do with a paintbrush. But anyway, Ireland being rich in stone and very poor in timber is naturally, they don't put stone walls around their farms for decorative purposes. They do it because they had to pull it out of the field and make it tillable. And so stonework is naturally what they do. And they do it in a way that is a trade I'm willing to be taught. We met a couple of folks over there this last time. I was looking for some stonemasons and some joiners who would be willing to invest a little time training us, because we're going to need to figure this one out from the ground up. And they were enthusiastic about the idea. We've got some people who want to be called, and I can't wait personally. But the other thing I wanted to bring up, and before I'm done here now, is we're going to do a fundraiser, a series of fundraisers. We have a significant amount of money together now. We have maybe half of what we'll need to purchase the property, and that means maybe a quarter of what we'll need all told once we're done the work on the place. When they say derelict, what it means is the stone is still standing, and there's evidence that there used to be wood in the rafters. But we've got, there's lots of work to be done. They're beautiful old structures, and they are heated with wood-fired stoves, fireplaces. I knew there was a word for it. Turf fireplaces and wood. But the Lions is well known around here. You guys have been doing the surprising for many years. The scope of your activities, you just have more experience with this. This is a new evolution for us. We're moving into a new cycle of things where we have gotten big enough and we have enough opportunities presented to us that all of a sudden we need to figure out how to fundraise. And we have a number of ideas, and some of them are to sell bricks that we can install in the pathway or a wall in the school, and a variety of things. But it just occurred to us, we're complete novices in this, and any counsel from you folks and your experience What doesn't work is frequently good counsel to find out before you do it yourself. So anyway, we would appreciate that. But I'm going to pass it on to Stacie here, she's got a test. Did you guys do your homework? Okay, because this is a snack quiz. And Stacie.
Thank you. Except it's not a test. You guys all are becoming students, and it's an exercise that we're going to do that we do in our Drawing 101 class at AFAN, that basically it helps students, whatever age, get into the right side of your brain, which is your creative side of your brain. So we do things that help, I don't know if the words manipulate your brain. So you start, instead of seeing everything logical, like if I'm looking at a face or a nose, I start seeing shapes and I start drawing the shapes. So we're going to do a few of those exercises. When I pass these out, they're a picture. I think Picasso did this, and he drew a picture of, I think the guy's name is Igor Stravinsky or something, that is one of Picasso's. Yeah, and I think that when you get each picture, just go ahead and put it upside down. I mean, yeah, you can hand them out with a pencil, but put them down like this. Don't look at the picture yet. That's one of the things around. One of the things I wanted to say when they read my bio was 8 years ago when I took my sons down to the art school and I became a student. I want to mention I was in my 40s and I was not an artist. I could draw stick figures, nothing else. But the founder of the school, Evie Fishkin, saw something different in me and said I could draw. So she started teaching me with some of the exercises that we're about to do that started helping me see shapes. And so I didn't have to see something, I could break down a picture.
Right here, see?
Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. I'll start passing pencils too, and you guys can pass those around. So we started doing exercises, and I was painting with her one day. Yes. And she, we were working on oceans and waves, and all I could see in my brain was to paint the waves. And she kept having me, trying to get me to see the oblong shapes or the circle. And I don't forget the day that I finally was able to switch over, and in the waves I could see the circles. And then the light, the little bright light clicked in my brain where I could start breaking down the picture. So from there we went on, and I am not our current Drawing 101 teacher because there are many coming up that are wonderful, but I have been a past Drawing 101 teacher. So, but this exercise that I'm about to give you is one of our main ones that we start out with. So, does everybody have one yet? Oh, you're the one waving your hands, and I'm missing right here. There you go. Upside down. Upside down, yes.
Don't forget, this is your masterpiece. Take care of this blank sheet.
Yeah, is there some more?
You're going to be our new Picasso.
Okay, so does everybody have one? Yep. So we have it face, you have it face down. So when you turn this picture over, you're going to turn it over and then turn it upside down. So the head, yes, the head is going to be, of the body will be facing you, so to speak. Okay? And then I want you to take this clear piece of paper and you fold it in half, and you are going to put it over your drawing like this, so you can only see a little bit of the lines. Okay? So you're only going to give yourself a ½ inch to an inch of the bottom part of the drawing. So this looks like this. Go ahead and do it now. Yes, go ahead and do this right now. And then
upside down.
So on your paper that you're covering it with, it's going to stay covered, you're going to make the drawing. And so you're going to start.
Can you see that?
Sorry, see that? So when you draw, you're going to draw on your blank piece of paper. And you're going to start, first we're going to draw this 2 lines, and you're going to trace the line onto this paper. And then you're going to do this line. You're going to see that's about 1 inch, that's about 1 inch. Then you're going to see a slanted line. You're going to draw it. Then you're going to see this line, and we're going to see it has a little curve. So you're going to draw the curve. And so on.
Yes? Do you need help?
Was there a question?
Oh, so you get paper.
Oh, okay. So I want you to do that. When you complete that, then you're going to keep moving your paper down to expose more of the picture. And then you're going to repeat it. Draw what you see. Each shape or each line. And you're going to keep doing that as you finish that. Move your picture down again about 1/2 inch, and you need paper. And keep going until it's fully exposed.
And I'll tell a story while you're doing that. So we had an art student come when we opened our school about 7 years ago, a young girl about 13 years old. Last year, she became one of our, well, a couple of years ago, she became one of our interns and then one of our junior teachers. And last year she was accepted in a very prestigious art college in the eastern United States. The teachers being former Disney artists, for example, that drew Lion King, Mulan. For those of you who know VeggieTales, Mike Nowacki is one of the teachers. In other words, this is a very incredible art school over there, and most of the students immediately get jobs. She's a freshman, and she's already being recruited for animation in studios. She called me the first couple of weeks she was at school, and she said, "Guess what they're teaching us?" And I said, "What?" And she said, "We're doing the blind contours and the studies that you guys taught us at art school." And the thing is that we have this gifted staff. They don't even make minimum wage. Some of our teachers volunteer. There's a accounting professor at the local college, Lower Columbia, who volunteers her time to come and teach charcoal and pastels. There's no way we could afford the kind of art and teaching that has been so wonderfully provided for us without the volunteers and the help that we have. And we have given over, what was the scholarship count, Stacie? I know last year alone was probably
Between 8,000 to 10,000.
close to $10,000 in scholarships alone last year. So, I mean, I have never taken a salary. This has been a volunteer thing for me for 7 years. And we like to pay our teachers, but we can only pay the minimum wage. So it really is a gift of the heart. And they're getting some first-class education. So you want to take it away?
Sure, no. It's just one of the things on the exercise that you're doing. Why we turn it upside down, one, it helps you, the ability to recognize shapes. Because our left side wants to tell us what we're drawing, but what we want to do is make our left side a little frustrated so that we can see the shapes. So we do everything we can to turn it upside down and start looking for shapes. So this is something that our students, we do run them through, and we keep doing exercises like that to get them to see the picture. So that's what you're doing right now. As Barb had mentioned, sometimes our students that are really strong in their left side of their brain, these kind of exercises would give them headaches at the end of the day. They're going to do so many of them. Well, not so many. Right now. Like right now, are you getting the headache? You're doing it right. It's the echo of that.
So are there any questions? While you guys are busy drawing, hopefully nobody will burst out into tears like I did when I first went to art school. If you have any questions about the classes, or feel free to ask.
I don't think so. Do we have any artists that are in here that draw on a regular basis here, or is this the first time?
We're all pushing you to your right
We're pushing,
brain.
yeah. You guys get ready.
My autism is not kicking in.
We've had autistic students who really excelled Yeah. Especially a lot of students who've been diagnosed as dyslexic, which is really, I think, oftentimes a misdiagnosis, because as they're learning more and more about the brain and how many types of intelligence there are, it's just incredible what can happen. We actually were headed to Hungary last year when the doors closed right before we went in. A gypsy village on the border of Romania and Hungary.
Yeah,
We were going to go teach art to young gypsy children, underprivileged. We've been asked actually to multiple nations, but the kids earn money to pay their own way over there, and they do this for free. The money that's in the bank right now for the Irish base is the money that the kids earn. They have earned over $20,000 to purchase a base so that they could go into the world and teach art to the underprivileged and to other children. So
I'm better than Picasso, right?
yes, you are.
There you go.
There you go. That's not bad. That's not bad.
You can go ahead wherever you're at, because you can finish these, take them with you if you want to, if you guys like to doodle with those. But go ahead and turn them right side up. Oh, you're putting it into this.
I'm putting it on the video so they can see, they can laugh at me online.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, why not?
Cameron, so how'd you guys do?
We gotta have time for some announcements.
Well, you can see this is just one example that we do to, again, to trick the left brain to get frustrated so that we can start seeing shapes in the picture. We don't just see a guy sitting in the chair. We start to see the rectangles, we start to see the lines and the curves. Okay. And so that's kind of where we'll start. And now that's so you guys officially have one exercise in our Drawing 101 class. You can graduate with that. Yeah. So before I finish, I'm going to mention one thing, because Barb's talking about the fundraisers. We have this fundraiser coming up, and it is March 16th.
Use the microphone, please.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Otherwise they can't hear you online.
I turned it off because I can't remember to hold it up to my mouth. And so, okay, so this is one of our fundraisers that we're having for AFAN, and it is to raise money for the Tully School that we're trying to get a base for kids to travel to and our teachers. And we're having this at March 16th at Shekinah, and we're having a dinner and a movie. We're playing The Quiet Man.
70th year anniversary, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that, 70th year anniversary for The Quiet Man. And so we're hosting a dinner where we have corned beef and cabbage, or bangers and mash. And so if you guys want to come out, anybody, and support us, we'll have it at Shekinah. We start at, what time do we start? 5:30 is the dinner. So at Shekinah Christian Center. So it is $15 a person. But if you're a Lions Club member and you mention that, we'll give it to you for $12 a person to come support us. So anyways, if you guys have time on March 16th, we'd love to see you there. Yes, Shekinah Christian Center. I think that's on 3rd Avenue here in Longview, 1015 3rd Avenue. Yes, yeah. It is. There's a line across from every garbage dump.
Thank you guys for putting up with us again.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Here, hon, I'll take that.
Thank you. Oh no, Ken did want to show a slideshow. I'm sorry, I forgot that. This is a picture of Tully. We haven't been able to purchase it yet. We're hoping for Tully, but it's just a quick slideshow. And if you guys have any ideas for us, I'm serious. You guys are famous for your fundraising ideas. We could help us out here. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just move along here because we got time. Sunshine Report, Marilyn?
President Tom, fellow Lions and guests, we have one person to think about and pray for. Peggy Minks is a relatively new Lion in our club. She joined last summer and has attended a few activities in last fall, but she became very sick with cancer and has experienced cancer treatments. But I received word on Monday or Sunday, I guess it was, from Sandy Cat. Peggy rents a cottage on their property, and she said that Peggy Minks is in terminal cancer at this point, and she has months to live, but Sandy felt that it might be days. She's taking care of everything here, wants to be able to get back up to Vashon Island, which is where she's lived most of her adult years. So she does have someone that's attending to that. And also, sad to hear, 3 weeks ago or so, she has one son who committed suicide. So she's had a lot to deal with, and that's why I passed this card around today, because it's pretty important that we get this sent to her. And she was so excited about being a Lion and serving, so just remember Peggy in your prayers. Thank you.
Okay, Steve, I'm going to bypass you today. Cindy, it's just a visitation, Kalama Lions, 7 p.m., Monday, March 14th, community building. So if you want to sign up and go.
We need a head count. It's a dinner meeting.
It's a dinner meeting, so.
The sign-up sheet's over there on the...
Sharon, yours is just on your clothing. She has some clothing over there, and if you need anything, just see her. She didn't bring it all, but she'll get you the right sizes. Louis, you got about a half a second.
President Tom, fellow guests and Lions, Kettle Corn is going to start this Friday, and we need some more people to sign up. It's online, and if you have problems getting online to do it, see me afterwards. I'll get you signed up. Tomorrow we're having a work party at the shop to get it, to load up the kettle corn and stuff and get everything ready to go at 9 o'clock in the morning. So.
Hand it to Skip for 1 second. You only got a second.
President Tom, fellow Lions guests, for those of you that might remember, we used to do an event called the Spirits of Longview, and we're bringing it out of retirement this year. If anyone remembers, if you're on the committee or not, I want to have a brief committee meeting kind of over this area after the meeting, just to bring you all up to speed as a committee, what we're doing and what we need going forward.
Okay, goes to Greg.
President Tom Lions guest, real quick announcement. We are not going to have a Sight and Hearing Foundation meeting tomorrow night. We only had just a handful of applications and we took care of them over the phone. Next month though, we will be meeting again. Thank you.
For all those that are on the board, there's a meeting Thursday morning at 8 o'clock at Cascade Tile. So, other than that, moving on, let's do the tickets. White ticket, 117435. Okay, red ticket, 056755. Red ticket? Oh, where would you like it to go, Marnie?
I got it. Good luck.
Okay, Darlene, you're up.
President Tom, fellow lines and guests, the winners for today for the desserts are Mark and Steve Johnson.
They're the dollar donators, right? At Win. So we that donate 5 don't get anything out of it. That's okay. It's all right.
Hey, donate one last
Yeah, I know. So does anybody have anything else? Oh, how about senility today?
John Claypool penciled in Josh. He's not here.
That's okay.
And then Marie and Walt didn't sign in.
Again.
And Pat Palmer didn't sign in. And neither did the Parkers. It was a good day today.
All right, next week, all you guys are gonna pay up.
Yeah, okay. And with all that senility,